Hey girl, hey. Hey boy, hey. Unfortunately, our community is at a loss today. Baby Elijah, who we have been praying for in ICU, is no longer with us anymore. And meet me on my live at 1:30 and I will update you guys on that and get some information. Maybe there's some other mothers out there that have lost a child, because I know that when I lost my father, people who told me that they could relate and their father was still alive, I really didn't feel like they could relate at all. So I think that when Ashley is ready, please keep Ashley in your prayers, in your meditation, in your good vibes, in your thoughts. But I think when Ashley is ready, she's going to want to communicate with other mothers that have lost children. So please give me your email in the chat box so I can write it down for her to reach out to you when she's ready. Right now, she's processing, and I will give you the entire update in my live at 1:30 and ways that you can help her. But just right now, I wanted to say that keep Ashley Newsom in your thoughts and prayers, in your meditation, your good vibes, whatever you believe in. Just keep her in your thoughts and prayers. And for me to tell her, I understand what you're going through, I don't. It's not the same to lose a parent as it is to lose a child. And I have yet to lose a child. So I cannot fathom what she is going through. So I would not be stupid enough to say that I could. What I can do is share her GoFundMe, which is on my other live, and I will break down what she's been going through the last week and how this all happened in the 1:30 live. It is devastating. Elijah is no longer with us. She had to pull him off of life support yesterday, but we will get to that at 1:30. I have about 50 minutes to where I wanted to answer some of these comments. I get so many comments, you guys, that I can't go back in and actually read them all. There's just so many of them. I do try to, but I wanted to go in and actually verbally read these and go from there and see if I can't answer some of those. Oops, that was my own live. And answer some of these things, because I am very passionate about some of the things you guys have to say. And so I really, really wanted to address these things. So let's go to my most recent live, which was last night. And it was pretty much my Monday Mama meeting, but we were just talking about the case, of course, as we always do. But let me just. Chris Watts. Oh, I need glasses. Oh my goodness. Chris Watts really said the demonic feeling he couldn't shake was since July 14th. To me, it makes sense that she may have put a crystal under Bella's bed. The dogs went crazy about that book and rock. Whatever was on that woman, I feel the worst mistake he made was bringing that energy to his home. Lesson learned for us all. Careful who we allow in our homes and our environment. Just my opinion, but it didn't help his situation, bringing the darkness near his home. Scary stuff. Yes, and we all know that the darkness didn't leave after Chris left. When Chris went to prison, the darkness stayed in that home, and I highly do not recommend it to anyone. Ashley, I can't believe you're even here, love, baby girl. We are with you. I'm going live at 1:30 to explain everything to them, and I can't imagine what you're going through. I'm so, so sorry, baby girl. I really, really, really am. But I do know that when you are ready, there's got to be other mothers out there that have been through this, that can relate, that will understand. And I think that you need to connect with them more than ever after you're done processing and dealing with your arrangements that you have to deal with. Just know that there is a community of people here that love you and want to be here for you. I gave you my actual phone number in the email that I last sent you, so please do not hesitate to use that. And I am sharing her GoFundMe in my next live, you guys. You can find her GoFundMe for medical expenses and the final arrangements of Elijah in the link description of my 1:30 video. So you can go there now if you want and look at that video where I'm going live at 1:30, and the direct link to her GoFundMe is in the description box. Yes, it's hard not to. I mean, that's devastating, and she's been fighting all week with him on life support in ICU, and we've all been praying, and so, it's just tough. I'm at a loss for words for the first time in my entire life. So, whew. Thank you guys. And I get paid on the 1st. Ashley, if you're still here, I'm definitely donating on the 1st when I get paid. For sure. 1000%. Let me step away. I'm trying to break away from this Juul, you guys. It is like settling something in my chest, and I've been on it for a year and probably 3 months. And so I do not recommend using the Juul long term because you will start hacking and settling in your chest. I almost have like a forever bronchitis. So do not Juul. Do not Juul. And Ashley, I gave you my phone number, so please don't hesitate to call. I will even get off this live if I need to. And I'm going live at 1:30 to share exactly what's going on with Ashley. And hopefully we can get, if you can't donate, I totally understand, but at least you could share the link maybe on your social media, on your Twitter or Facebook or whatever. If we could get this thing viral, it would be amazing. They're not asking for an astronomical amount. It's only $10,000, and I can only imagine what the arrangements are. It was $6,000 to bury my father. So they are very humble. They're not asking for a lot of money. And so I am, my heart bleeds for Ashley. I have my boyfriend do the talking because I can't bring myself to talk to them about the arrangements. I keep crying and can't get words out. I know, baby love. You just take as much time as you need. They can wait. They can wait. You are a mother in mourning. A Juul is the vape. It's the little bitty flat vape. I don't know if I'm allowed to show it on YouTube, or I would, but it's about this big. It's flat and normally black, and it's a vape. I quit smoking cigarettes, but it seems like I always have that vape and I'm always using it. I think I overuse it. There's been times I've gotten sick from the nicotine. It's just not good. My son calls it Hulk smash when I can't find it, to the point that I bought another one so I could have two. The pods are $20 for 4 pods, but a pod will last me 2 or 3 days. One pod will. And the actual system, I believe, is $30, the vape. I know, Ashley. Don't you feel bad for asking for money. I was just pointing out that you could have put any astronomical amount on there that you wanted, and that you kept it humble. Even your sister kept it humble. And that by all means is going to go to the final arrangements, because just for my dad, it was $6,000 I ended up owing. So I can't imagine what it's going to cost you. And we spoke about this on email. So you don't owe anybody any explanation. Your child died. And so you have every right in the world to set up a GoFundMe, even if it's through your sister or whatever, because you have too much pride to ask for help. I understand that. I'm a proud woman too. And so people, when I die, are going, or when something like that happens to me, they would have to set it up for me, because I just don't have the nerve to ask. And especially if I'm hurting, you should just be healing right now and processing, and everybody needs to be waiting on you hand and foot. That's just the way that I look at it. So you do what you got to do. It does not matter at all what you do. I cannot even believe that you're here right now. We're just honored to have your presence. Thank you so much. And please don't hesitate to call me. I will listen to you. I will not even give you advice because I don't have advice to give. I don't understand the position you're in because I've never been there, and so I can't say that I get it because I don't. I'm at a loss for words, and my heart truly, truly breaks for you. They are, Anna. Funerals are very expensive. Yeah, she lost Elijah, the one that we've been praying for, that's been on our prayer list for about a week and a half. He was in ICU. Ashley's son, Elijah, passed yesterday. They had to take him off life support. But I'll be back at 1:30. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to share the emails with you guys of me and her talking over the last week or so. I've got the GoFundMe in there. I only have about 40 minutes left before I'm going to get on that live and break all of that down for you guys. So in 40 minutes, be here and we will go over what's going on with Elijah. I just wanted to answer a couple of these questions really fast. Why would he leave the sheet of the oil fight like he just get that either like you're trying to cover up, but yet leave the sheet just laying out on the oil field? If people are not happy in their marriage, move on and leave the marriage. Cheating is never acceptable. I was listening to an interview with the Frederick police, and Nicole Atkinson picked up Shanann Watts early Friday morning, I believe. So I'm guessing here that Shanann Watts didn't know that Chris Watts took off Friday, unless he had to take them to daycare or something. I could be wrong. Someone double check me. Well, weren't they going to the first day of daycare on that Monday? Wasn't that the first day of school? So did he have the girls on Friday? Did they go to daycare? Was it they were already going to daycare and it was Bella's first day of real school on Monday? But I do remember them saying that the first day of school is Monday. So were they in daycare on that Friday and the first day of real school was Monday? Or did Chris have them that day that he was off? Nicole Atkinson picked up Shanann to go to the airport. Chris Watts' boss said that he asked for Friday the 10th off. So what did Chris do on Friday? That still has not been addressed after all this time. And then you can go to this video and it's called I Miss You Guys. Let us not forget that we are barely getting the meat of this case. If you go into the comments section, Ashley's GoFundMe is there as well. It's also in my 1:30 live, which I will be going in there in about 30 minutes. You can see the link to Ashley's GoFundMe. Her son passed away yesterday and she had to remove him from life support. And I will address all of that with you guys and share that information with you in my other live. I just wanted to address some of these comments before I went in there and got serious. What else? Why do you think Patrick Frazee killed his beautiful girlfriend? It doesn't make sense. Because these mothers, they want to please their mothers. I feel like these murderers like Chris and Patrick, a lot has to do with the moms and pleasing the moms and letting the mom know that no one will ever replace you. This is what I think about the girl that you thought was going to replace you. And so, in my opinion, it's like their final act of love towards their mothers. Rhonda Taylor, he never liked her to start with. He was enraged when she became pregnant and had the baby. He is a narcissistic psychopath. She was in the way of him living his life. Essentially, he was pampered by mommy and got his way. He felt he had to eliminate her because she was in the way. That is how psychopaths think. They do not think like you or me. We cannot subscribe normal thoughts, logics, feelings to a psychopath. Yes, that's another way of putting it. I wish I had your energy. I love your energy. So we do a chat some night on vaping versus smoking versus quitting or not smoking tobacco products. A lot of people get lung conditions due to vaping. A young man in Canada got a lung acute condition when using vaping. The vape liquid was inhaled on his lung, and now he is likely to have a chronic lung condition due to this liquid. We are not designed to inhale substances, although we do. And I'm starting to feel this. Like I can just be normal breathing, you guys, and hear myself wheeze. And my mom was on oxygen by the time she was 40. That's how bad her asthma was. And since I've used this jewel for a year, I feel something settling in. It is not good and it's not going away. But most importantly, I can assure you absolutely that our lungs were not made for fluids or liquids to be inhaled in the lungs. So if a person accidentally inhales the liquid from the vape, it may have acute long-term consequences with lung health. Yes, and I was buying the $20 pods to refill these things, you guys, and then I realized that I could get $10 pods, that there's these aftermarket ones from China that are only $10. So I started buying those, and there's no telling what kind of sediment is in those or what's in it. And so then I started taking the pods, popping them open, and filling them with juice, with nicotine salt juice. So it is bad. I might not be an addict on my drug of choice anymore, but that jewel has become an obsession. It's not right. Okay, so then that was on that video. Let's see if I have more time to, yes, I have a little bit more time to answer a few more comments. This is a great find. Never heard anyone talk about the fact that the fitted sheet was left behind. If she was in bed, that's definitely what she would have been wrapped in. Someone agrees with me. And you don't have to agree with me on that. We can both just agree to disagree on this. If you do not believe that, if you believe she was in the bed, I don't believe that Shanann ever made it in the bed. And I think that the makeup that was on the pillow was from Thursday or from when he laid her in the bed afterwards, after he killed her, because he did say her mascara was running. She was crying when he killed her. Her eyes filled with blood, he said. And so he could have laid her on the bed and wrapped her in that top sheet. And that's when the makeup got on the pillowcase. Yes, we're going to cover all of that GoFundMe, Janelle, at 1:30 in my next live. Right now, we're just going over these comments, and I have emailed some of you guys with the link. I have put the link in my live video at 1:30, and I will share it throughout. So we will cover that in just 30 minutes. We only have 30 minutes to cover this, and then I've dedicated a whole live to Elijah, God rest his soul, and Ashley, because she needs us. After I made my stern comment about it being the flat sheet, I then came back and said, never mind, I don't know anything, LOL. I was right in what I thought, but I second guessed my knowledge per usual. But this is a great observation, Mama D. This changes the storyline. The babysitter's mom is who picked her up. That's what the girl said in the interview. And see, this is why I can't get other people's thoughts. And because I was convinced that the babysitter dropped a car off for the babysitter to drive in, because some other creator told me that. And so if I don't stick to just the discovery and these interviews, then I'm getting fact and fiction mixed up. And I'm telling you guys things like the babysitter had her parents dropped a car off and she drove herself home, which was absolutely not correct. The mother, what was correct is what I originally said before somebody warped my perception of it and said from the beginning that the mother had to wait outside and that Chris was actually late, and the mother sat out there for a few minutes waiting on her daughter to be able to leave because Chris was late at arriving home. Was the sheet off the bed before Shanann got home? We don't know that. We will never know that. but she was wrapped in a top sheet, not a fitted sheet, which suggests that she was not in the bed, that she was placed in the bed. There's a recording. That interview is the babysitter, and her mom was there to pick her up after she babysat for Chris. See, that's the truth. And if I stick to interviews and I stick to discovery, I won't be distorting the facts. And that's why I can't watch other creators right now. I can't go watch these links when you guys send me a link to something else, because I don't want to get distorted while I'm in the middle of discovery and while I'm in the middle of Chris's Wisconsin interview, because we can focus on getting the facts from there and then branch off after if we need to, but let's just stick to the facts. And then, hey honey, I love your videos. You're so different to many other creators. Crime info. Oh, this is not a question, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to read stuff where people are just giving me compliments. I believe the fitted sheet is what was found at the oil site. Well, then you need to read page 51 of Discovery, and it says that the fitted sheet was laying on the floor next to the comforter. Page 51 of Discovery for the person that believed that the fitted sheet was at the oil site. And if you go to the evidence video of the cops spreading it out and the dirt falling out and it having all the stains on it, you can clearly see there that it's not a fitted sheet. Let's see. Did Chris sleep in the basement? I wouldn't have been in the basement bed when Shanann came home. Also, there was a fridge and a freezer down there for him too. No, because I think NK even mentioned the fact that she heard a TV on, and I think that it upset her when they had that 111-minute phone call that he was upstairs in the bed when Shanann was on her way home. If NK wasn't there, we do not know. All we know is that him and NK had a 111-minute phone call before she came home. We also know that they spoke on the phone from 9:35 p.m. the next night after the murders, all the way up until 2 o'clock in the morning. She was on the phone when he was on the phone with the police. She was on the phone when the police came to his house at 10 o'clock. So that's all we know about that. Let's see. Yeah, thinking about the damage done to Bella's mouth, do you think someone could have held their hand over her mouth and make her watch something? In doing so, do you think some of the damage could be from that? No, the damage was from him smothering her and her twisting her head back and forth, and Chris's sheer force on the poor child's mouth, and her twisting back and forth, and him trying to hold her mouth in the same spot as she was fighting it. That's where all of that damage come from. Or someone else speculated that it could have came from when he was shoving her into the hatch. God rest her soul. But I don't think no one was forcing her to watch anything. That's a stretch a little bit. But we don't know. I mean, you could be the one person that's right. Who knows? We do not know. Someone says there is a second autopsy done only on Bella. And someone asked, why was Chris able to seal the autopsy? Being a parent, yeah, but killing your family, no. If they were revealed, it would bring more light on what happened, but no, it's sealed, so Chris Watts can tell lie after lie. He wants fans and friends. I have to agree with you on that. The babysitter was 17. The babysitter's interview said that the mom had to wait. So I believe that. I believe that. I think I got my mind clouded with other speculation. And the stones under the bed, it could have been from NK, you guys, but my son, I find stones all over my house. Rocks of all kinds of sorts. I can even show you, let me show you how he keeps some of his rocks. I find these all over the house. You guys, I find these all over the house. These little stones of gauges. I mean, he's got big ones. He's got little bitty ones. I mean, these are all over my house, and they have been since he was young. He even takes them out of stuff. Look at this fake diamond. I mean, they love this kind of stuff. This is their jam. So I think that thing was under the bed just because it was under the bed. But again, it's 50-50. You could be right. I could be wrong. I could be right. You could be wrong. So it's just too hard to tell for certain, you know? All right. So let's see what else. Trauma dogs never barked in her room, but a lot in the basement. That is true. I don't think anything ever happened in the room. I don't even think she made it into the room alive. I think Chris put her on the bed dead. If she was in the bed, he could have easily covered her with the top sheet and rolled her up with it. He would have only had to tuck it next to one side of her body and roll her into it. But the top sheet was on the floor next to the comforter. So that doesn't make sense. There's closed caption on mine. See, only one video, you guys, ended up slipping through the cracks without closed caption. And people just are looking for a reason to hate on me. If you notice, every single one of my videos have dislikes on it. So I have some haters here, but I'm renting space up in your head and you're here. So welcome. I'm not going to hate on you for being in the right place. All right, 25 minutes until we do our live about Elijah. I don't think he killed her on the bed either. That bed was too clean. It would have been stained all the way to the mattress pad and possibly the mattress. Same with the girl's bed. They were too clean. I have actually thought that he killed her on the leather couch that is in the loft area upstairs. I think maybe she was sitting on the couch or laying on the couch with her phone, and he killed her on the couch. And in doing so, maybe she struggled a little bit to get up and her phone in her hand, and somehow the phone went in between the cushions where he was strangling her. I don't know if she would have been trying to call while he was strangling her. I think he ran upstairs when he took that minute and he shoved the phone in between the cushions, because I think that's what took him so long, because he was running around looking for that phone. He had forgot where the last place he had saw it, and he didn't want them to get her phone. So he wanted them to think that her phone was gone. But then remember, Nicholas found the phone shoved between the couch cushions. And I think Chris was like, damn it, you little, for finding it, because I think he knew that no one would believe that Shanann went anywhere if her phone was laying in there. He knew that her purse, he didn't have time to stash her purse. He may have been the one that stashed it in the office. But when he went in there, he went and took that phone and shoved it between the cushions, because he knew no one would believe that she went anywhere with her phone being there. And then when Nicholas found it between the couch cushions, it just blew up the whole story for him. Okay, so then she says that, I know a lot of people think that he planted the phone there to hide it, but I actually think that phone went down between those cushions while he killed her. I also think he placed her in the passenger seat of her own car while he went and got the truck. I think that's why he opened the car door when he first came home. I think he was just checking to make sure there was no evidence on the seat. But where did little Bella expel? I think that he opened the car door personally because he got the ring out of there. I think on his way of taking the body to the truck, he realized that expensive ring. It was $12,000. He said in an interview, he paid 12 grand for that ring. And so as he was taking the body to the truck, he stopped at her car because he didn't want to just leave the body right there and take the ring inside. So he locked her ring in the car and then put the body in the truck. So then when he got there, he hurried up, opened up that door, got the ring out, shot inside, shoved her phone in the couch cushions, took her purse, tucked it back in the office. He wasn't expecting NK and her son, or NA and her son Nicholas, to go all through the house like they were. He thought that they would just believe him, that she went to see a friend, and when they found that phone and she started digging around and brought her purse out, he knew that he was messed up. And that's what I think happened when he ran inside. And that's what I think when he opened the door. But we are all welcome to have our own theory because nobody truly knows. Thank you, Jersey Angel. Yes, exactly. Nicole Atkinson is the angel here because she sabotaged Chris's entire plan. Whatever he had planned that day got spoiled because of Nicole Atkinson. And we all deserve to have friends like that in our life. And so I just welcome people here. Please remember to keep these comments in these comment boxes nice and friendly. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. It's really not needed here. It's just going to get you blocked there. If it's disgusting and rude and your approach and your tone is not right, then you are gone. It doesn't matter if you feel justified in your actions. One comment that rubs me the wrong way is all it takes, and you're gone. Now, does that mean that I delete every other opinion other than mine in the comment section? Absolutely not. You guys see there's lots of comments in my comment section that go against completely what I think happened. And I leave them there because there's a possibility that you're right and I'm wrong. And I can accept that and own that. But until we get through all of 1,900 and something pages of the discovery, and until we get through Chris's Wisconsin interview, we don't need any more information. We're on information overload when it comes to this stuff. So just hang in there. I'm never, ever going to cover interviews like Ronnie, where he just bashes Shanann. I would never cover that interview. There was nothing in that interview that can help us understand why Chris did what he did. It's just a chance for Ronnie Watts to bash Shanann even after her death, which is absolutely wrong. So if you guys want to know what Ronnie is saying, you'll have to go to other creators' channels because I'm not covering his narcissistic, you know what, on this channel, because him and Chris have a lot of similarities, and I wouldn't be surprised if whatever is lurking deep and dark in Chris isn't lurking deep and dark in Ronnie when he was in his cocaine days, because cocaine can bring a lot of darkness to your life. Trust me, I know that from experience. So I am gonna get off of this live, and we are going to go over to do the live on Elijah. I'm going to share with you what Ashley has been going through. We're going to bring ourselves together as a community, and we are going to do our best together to send her lots of love and light. If you cannot donate, I totally understand. A lot of you guys are on a fixed income, and I never started this channel to ask for money. But if you were ever thinking of donating to me, please don't, and donate it to this cause, because the link that is going to be in the description box of my next live, which is in 15 minutes, is exactly where I want any and all money that you thought about giving to me to go to, because the bless this wonderful precious mother, I can't even imagine what she's going through. I couldn't even walk a second in her shoes, because it is just terrible to know that her baby has passed away in ICU. She had to take him off of life support. I know the feeling of listening to a heart go from a regular beat to a slow one to nothing. But it was my father. It was nothing compared to losing a child. And it was the closest person to me, but not my children. So I can't imagine what Ashley's going through. And she did mention that she had to do that she took her baby off life support, and she had to listen to the heart get irregular and to finally stop. And so I can't imagine the heartache and the turmoil that she's going through today. And I just ask that you guys help me send as much love and light her way as you can. And if you pray, I ask that you just pray for Elijah and Ashley Newsom, because God gained another angel yesterday, and we have to be strong for her. And I just ask that you guys meet me over there right now on that live. Bye.